Yeah, let's get right into it. Yo, it's Mr. Overachiever. I know you know that I mean it. This shit is in my DNA. I got these flows in my helix. I told you don't intervene. No, you gon' need more than a Kleenex. I have you on the phone Googling who the best orthopedic, but I won't just go for no reason. I got priorities, peep it. I got some bros that are tweaking with all these hoes that are leaving. I tell them fight and get him back or you'll be broken. Believe it, call her a bitch. Okay, cool. But if she's golden retriever, cause we need those who's the queens, those who...
And we are live.
Hey, it's an Elsewhere podcast. What up, people?
Welcome in, everybody. We are here tonight with Versvs. Say what up.
Hello, thanks for having me.
No, absolutely appreciate you coming on with us. I was pretty stoked for this
Thanks
one.
for coming on.
Yeah.
And I know Mrs. Traumatos is in the house. I see her. I know you were on Traumatos yesterday, which I skipped.
Correct, yeah.
Because I didn't want any spoilers, right? It was killing me, and I was like, I can't be on it. I can't listen. So I popped in, said hi, and like ran.
Yeah, fair enough. It was a fun time, yeah.
Yeah, they're good people. There's a lot of good people in the community. But I see everybody in chat. Welcome in, guys. Appreciate you being here. This is going to be a good one, I think. I'll just say, if you haven't checked out any of his music, look in the description. There is a link to his YouTube channel. Also on his Instagram, he posts up all the time. Does some pretty badass music. So check it out. If you haven't already, the song in the intro right there was him. If you weren't sure, there you go.
Yes, definitely go check him out. He is a good fucking rapper.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I think I found... Wow, okay. I was at your channel, and I was like looking around, and I was like... because I remember the first thing I heard you do was your whoop-dee freestyle. And I was like, how long ago was that? And yeah. Over a year. Wow. So yeah. I've heard your name circulating for a while.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I think that dropped a year and a half. I'm not too sure. Yeah, just one of those remixes I do when I'm bored and not sure what music to put out.
It's like an 8K, but you know, you were just bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a sick fucking video, and man, that beat got played out quick.
Yeah. A lot of people remixed that one for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So where are you out of?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've lived here for 7-8 years now. I'm originally Italian. Kind of lived all over the place, but I ended up here. Yeah, 7, 8 years ago for university, and now I'm just making music.
Well, that's awesome. See,
Nice.
that's actually one of the things that I don't know how to say it, like tickled me the most is because you actually rap in different languages in some of your verses, right? You drop other,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that actually wasn't the case for the longest time. I think I started doing that a couple months ago, actually. Because I have a pretty big fan base in Italy because that's where I'm originally from, and I kept having fans, telling me I should rap in Italian, and they wanted me to represent Italy as well, and all that stuff. Um, I always wanted to stick with English because I consider myself, or at least want to be, a lyricist, and so obviously it takes time to develop writing skills in one language. So I kind of didn't want to start from the beginning again with Italian, but I gave in to the the fans' calling, I guess, for this thing, and tried it out, and it went great. And so I kept trying it out. So now there's at least 2 or 3 songs with me doing that, and yeah, they all go pretty well. People like it, so I'm definitely gonna keep experimenting with that.
Well, see, in my personal opinion, like I said, I always make it clear, and most people that are in the chat that have been here before, they know this. Skullz is an artist as well, and I'm a listener.
Yeah.
So that's the two different perspectives on this. And as a listener, I love the lyrics, and I think you've got some good lyrics. I think you were live last week, and I was, we were talking about some of your lyrics for the new song that just came out,
Yeah.
not today. And
Mhm.
but the thing is it's unique, like not a whole song in another language because I don't understand it, right? And I don't always
Right.
want to have captions on and stuff, even though I can
Yeah.
appreciate someone doing it. However, when you could just be like, I've got my flow going, I'm just rapping my ass off, and then all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, whoa, what just
Yeah.
happened? It's unique and it's really cool because you actually are fluent in multiple languages. You're not just fluent in English, obviously.
Mhm.
But to be able to just drop it in there just makes people stop and go, oh, like,
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's what made those songs perform well, including the ISIS remix that kind of went crazy on TikTok. Is that because I don't like having a whole verse in one language, another verse in another language. I like to keep it going with the same flow and kind of switch language so that people don't expect it. I think that's what kind of made it stand out. So yeah, I appreciate it. I absolutely get what you're saying.
however,
Yeah.
when it comes to just English, you've got some fire lyrics too, though. Like your
Thank you.
music
Yeah.
as a whole, your catalog as a whole is pretty fire.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and even like when like for me, since I only speak the one language, it's like when I when I hear you going off on different languages, it's just the cadences in which you do it that sound so good that it just keeps it compelling, even though I don't understand it.
Right. Thank you,
Especially
man.
in the
Yeah.
ISIS one, like it just really kept like the momentum kept going and just kept
Right.
going.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely try to do that. I try to do that. I don't want there to be a clear or predictable way, that I switch the language and it's like, oh, kind of abrupt, like what happened here. This sounds kind of weird. I kind of try to keep it going with like within the same flow and yeah, same cadence. Sometimes I even like enjoy rhyming words from English with words in Italian on the same rhyme scheme because that's just cool. I think to rhyme words in different languages. I don't know. I just have fun with it, but the people are vibing to it, so I'm happy.
I can't even imagine having like that many tools in your tool belt when you're coming up with a verse.
Yeah.
Having so many languages, like you just have so much to play with. Like that, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I definitely think, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. It's obviously good because your dictionary expands and your rhyming, obviously, there's more potential to pick kind of the words that you need, but it also gets confusing, I guess. It's not easy, but it's definitely fun. So I'll keep pushing with that. There's more songs. I can't spoil too much, but there's a few songs coming out that are on that same vibe. So we'll see how those go.
Well, I had a question. Do you ever get, like, when you're writing a song, do you ever think, I know this is the word I want to use, but it's not in English, and you're like, I can't think of the right word that equals the same impact it would have if you're saying it in another language?
Like I don't think that happens much because my brain switches to just English when I'm writing, and then when I like usually that's the default. And then when I know that I'm working on, you know, a remix of an Italian song and I want to drop some Italian in there, then I kind of like pick the part of the song where it's going to be a separate language, like 4 bars here, 8 bars here, and I just switch my brain again. I honestly, like, I get this question all the time, and I'm not just saying it to sound cool, because it's not even cool. I just don't know how it works. I'm not sure what language I think in. I really don't know.
I was going to ask you.
So sometimes I'll just speak French. Like, I'll just, you know, talk to myself while playing a video game, and French will come out, and I'm like, oh, maybe I think in French, and then I'll dream in Spanish. I'm like, oh, maybe I think it's so. So yeah, I don't know, but I try to really switch when I'm writing a song and like be very focused, so that, you know, I know what I'm doing there.
That's so weird that you like dream in different languages and stuff like that. It's just such a foreign concept to me, speaking the one language.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky, you know, growing up, because it's not like I was like insanely skilled to learn them, because most of the languages I know, I was a kid growing up in those countries, and when you're a kid, you learn them super quick. So if anything, I owe that to, like, you know, my childhood and my parents and traveling and all that more than anything. But it's cool that I'm doing the best I can to use it to my advantage now.
Yeah, it's good to do that. Whatever you can use, like, use it, you know. And
yeah,
that's what's gonna set you apart too, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know many rappers who speak that many languages at all. And,
right.
Yeah.
Or rapping them. Yeah.
Yeah, too. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
Well, out of curiosity, I mean, obviously you just dropped a track recently with Luke Gone.
Yeah.
And it's doing pretty well, I assume, because from the numbers I've been seeing, it seems to be doing pretty good.
It's doing well, yeah. It's doing well. It's approaching 100K on Spotify alone pretty fast. So definitely can't be happier, yeah.
No, that's awesome, because like that one was very bar heavy. Your verse is
Yeah.
very bar heavy in that one, and
Yeah.
it's fun. Like I talk about this sometimes. Like it's fun for me listening, because I can catch a lot of them, but I don't catch everything, so I have to go listen again. You know, and then I'm like,
Right.
ah, see, I thought that's what that meant, but you have to like confirm it. You have to go back and check.
Yeah. Yeah. That is my favorite feeling in hip hop, period, is when I catch bars like the 15th time I'm listening to a song. I'm like, oh, damn, that completely went over my head the first 14 times I listened. That is a feeling I absolutely love, and the bars and the wordplay is what, you know, fascinated me the most about the genre in the first place. So especially now, you know, after years of, you know, developing those skills and hopefully getting to a level now that I kind of try to structure my songs the same way. Like I'll have depending on how bar heavy the song, I'll have some like, you know, one-liners that I know people will catch, and then I'll put some really, really more complex ones that maybe it'll take a few takes, because, you know, I know the fans kind of enjoy that too, and it's also a reason to constantly listen to the song again, so we all kind of benefit from it. So yeah.
Replay value is a big deal. It matters.
Yeah.
And having to go
exactly,
back and listen, because not only was it interesting, it sounded good, and you want to hear it again, but also because you are interested enough that you actually want to catch all the different nuances and all the different bars that are in there and the different ways that they bend together. That's fire. That's what you guys want.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what we aim for. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
For sure. I mean, I don't know who I'm talking about when I say we, but that's what. Yeah,
well,
that's what I hate.
Basically, artists that have lyrics that actually care about, you know, the lyrics that they're putting in, and they try to make sure that they bend those bars a little bit. And they
Exactly.
Yeah, with the, you know, the doubles or the innuendos or the metaphors, anything of that nature. And that's my opinion. Like I said, I am a listener. I don't write music at all, of course, but that's what I listen for as well. You know, but if it's too complicated, if it's too much, I won't listen again, because, you know, you know what I'm talking about. If you're going 90 miles an hour, I'm just like, I just, even if I want to catch it, okay, that's cool, right? But replay value, that goes lower for me. But when it's something that's, it's that sweet spot between really complicated and the normal ear can hear it and just catch it, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But
And it's hard to do that because every listener is different. every listener
Yeah,
has a different gauge for that.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, it's extremely subjective, and I think, like, I appreciate how you listen to music because that's how I listen to music, but I definitely don't think we're in the majority nowadays. I mean, I kind of have to adapt, and I'm experimenting with easier songs, catchier songs too, not because I'm like, wanting to sell my soul, but I do see, like, TikTok is obviously the biggest platform right now, and you need to catch people's attention within 1 or 2 seconds max in a video. It needs to be something, if you just opt for the complicated stuff, no one will care. So that's why I'm kind of trying to have fun with it and mix as much as possible, like get out of my comfort zone, make improve my hooks, make something catchier, then maybe have something more complex for the verse, so it can just appeal to as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is trying to reach people, right? So if we kind of stay focused on one very narrow fan base, then that's probably not the ultimate goal. So yeah, there's always room for growth there.
Yeah, it's this weird thing. What, Kat?
I was going to say, thanks for the Versvs pen tip, $5. Much love, Kat. Skullz. Thought I'd stop by and say, hey, appreciate you. And I see Mama Nieto's in here, too.
Hey, much love. Appreciate that. And hi, Mama Nieto. Why can't I say that?
Mama
I gotta
Niet's
get
the
that right.
actor. There we go.
I usually just call her Mama the actor. So.
But what were you saying? Sorry, I just had to call that out.
What was I saying? Fuck.
Derailed. Let's go. Destroyed. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Fuck.
No, but that's the thing, is I know that a lot of people, like, everyone's like, TikTok's where it's at, and I get that. Like, I have a in my house, she turned 17 yesterday. I have a 17-year-old, so TikTok is, of course, everything, and everything she's learned, she learned on TikTok. It used to be YouTube, but now it's TikTok. And that's the short attention span is a thing. It's a big thing. And I don't have TikTok, and I don't want it, because, like, everything, it lands on Instagram anyway. And I didn't want Instagram for the longest time, but that's where everybody's at, to network and talk to people. So I had to, give in and do it. But I know that, the attention span is like what they call like a goldfish. You blink and then it's the next thing. Oh, that didn't catch me. Oh, that didn't catch me. And then you stop for 30 seconds and watch something, and you go on to the next one. Like, there's no longevity in watch time.
I have that conversation with the team and the label, like, every day. Like, it's just so fascinating and not necessarily good, but you do need to adapt to it, right? There's nothing you can do. Like, it's not only a short attention span, it's the generation, like, nowadays, where the instant gratification is huge. There's like 80,000 songs dropping every day. There's unlimited choice. I tell this to upcoming artists every time, like, what is the incentive for a random person to listen to you? Like, why you? If there's 80,000 songs dropping every day, why you, right? And on TikTok, what you need to do is, like, because there's unlimited options, they can just keep scrolling all night, and if your video doesn't catch their attention within the first 1 or 2 seconds, you're done. It was just a waste of time. It's always super important to not only make songs that can appeal to more people, but also, if you do have a song that is more bar heavy or whatever, you can pinpoint like a specific part of that song that might do well on TikTok, and make a dope video with it, and just experiment, pick different like 10-second clips of that one video, and just see, because sometimes there's just one line that relates to people, one quote that people think is deep. You really never know what can blow up on that platform. It's kind of not random, but there's just a lot going on. So yeah, I always tell people to just, like, even older songs, sometimes there's songs from like 2 or 3 years ago that I'm like, you know what, let's make a video of that now, post it on TikTok, see how it goes. And then sometimes it blows up for no reason. So
well, no, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if somebody's not heard it, it's new to them. So
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't
it's always
matter
new
how old it is. If you've been that good for that long, they're going to check out some of the newer stuff, right? Like, usually that's kind of how it works. And Tawaka brought up a good point. He hates songs on TikTok. They don't do the full songs. Well, yeah, but that's the point, is because TikTok is an immediate gratification, a quick. Yeah. And then literally they'll go from there, and they're like, oh, that's cool. And then hopefully they'll watch more, and hopefully they'll jump on to Spotify, or they'll go look you up on YouTube, or they'll, follow you on Instagram or whatever. And
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, that's how you get, it's literally like, it's like going to Sam's Club every Saturday, like I used to do when I was a kid, and getting samples. Like, you got to get a sample of like everything. And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, mom, dad, buy that for me. You know, it's kind of like in that lane where
Yeah,
everybody wants
that's
a free
their first
sample.
impression. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a first impression. Like TikTok is the platform to make that first impression, and then if they like it that much, they'll follow you on other platforms. Maybe go check the song out right away. You know, there's always someone in the comments like, "Oh, did this drop?" And then you reply, and then now they know they dropped. And so they'll go check it out. But even if they don't, you know, it's always next video. They'll see a view. They'll be more familiar. They'll be like, "Oh, that's the guy from that video." So it always helps. So it's definitely a tough platform to get into in the beginning. I think everyone's kind of reluctant with TikTok in the beginning when it comes to artists, but it is unfortunately pretty much mandatory to have nowadays. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it too, because it just, I'm not saying for or against, it is what it is, right? It's its own
Yeah.
beast, you know, and some people prefer specific platforms. Some people want Twitch, some people like YouTube. You know, you just never know. But, you know, if you can kind of get a feel for it. It took me a while to figure out how to do like Instagram stories and how to like add. I'm like, oh, you can add things? Okay. And then it looked all janky. I'm like, oh, come on. But once you kind of get into it, you know, and that's, I always say word of mouth is the biggest thing. And it's also name recognition. So the same as when, you know, the community is in, for example, Traumatos is live or they're in this live and I see the same people, you recognize people. So even if
For sure, yeah.
they don't memorize your song or go get it right away, they might see your name or they might see a flyer for something or something on Instagram and all of a sudden like, oh, right? So even if they don't remember who you are, their brain still affiliates it, whether they know it or not.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just,
Absolutely.
I can't figure out a way to get onto TikTok. I just can't. I haven't got there yet.
Yeah, it took me a while, and even like I think one of the first videos I posted went viral, and even then that didn't encourage me to keep posting. I had a video get 1 million views like the first month I used TikTok, and you'd think that's like, okay, now I'm gonna post on TikTok every day because this is amazing. But even then, I didn't like the app. I just didn't post consistently enough. But yeah, at some point you just realize, and especially when you're an artist, you're always looking to improve, and if you have the right mentality, at least every successful artist or everyone doing well will inspire you to do well, because you're like, oh, how did they get there? Like, what am I doing that, you know, wrong, or what are they doing right that I'm not doing yet? And so you kind of learn, and that happened to me where every artist I was vibing to or talking to and they were more successful, they're like, oh yeah, I did it on TikTok, I did it on TikTok, I did it on TikTok. And so after 20 times they told me that, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna get on TikTok, because I'm not gonna be the guy that loses on an opportunity because I don't want to learn how to use an app, right? At the end of the day, we're all pretty tech savvy, so you know, you just have to get that first motivation, encouragement, and then, as you said, once you figure it out, it becomes a lot easier.
See, I have the same thing with Discord with people, because people are like, oh, I don't understand it, I don't get it. And it's like, like, there are specific, like, you could be the person that's in Facebook groups, you could be the person that does only TikTok, or you could do Instagram stuff, or some people, they swear by Discord. I am one of them. I drag people kicking and screaming into Discord because it's literally like, the stuff you can do on there is ridiculous. You can have your own server. You can like bring people to ask Q&As. You can have like a stage where they can pull them up one by one, do voice chats, you know, video chats. You can post things. You can just chat in real time, all in one app, right? And so it's really cool. And I know a lot of artists and reactors and stuff that I talk to have a Discord, but people that aren't familiar with the platform get real intimidated. Like me, I'm like sitting here thinking, should I download TikTok while we're talking?
Yeah, you probably should. You probably should after once the call is done. I mean, go into Discord. Like I think Russ is a perfect example of a extremely successful artist that maximizes every use of every platform that he possibly can. And I know that every once in a while he jumps on Discord to talk to fans and like send maybe snippets of exclusive songs and stuff like that. I think that's super cool. So yeah, maybe I'll look into that as well. But definitely, if there's any upcoming artist listening or anyone that kind of wants to get in the game, like, it is definitely crucial to learn as much as you can and post on every platform that is out there, because it's just the best way to get new people and reach new people. So
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
that's
And sometimes
actually pretty cool that
I
you're telling people to do stuff and helping them. So in the future, if they're doing something, you're giving advice. Like, no, you're literally just like, if I can help you, here's some advice. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's sick because there's a lot of people I feel like in hip hop who would rather push you down so they don't have the competition. But yeah, that's why I respect a lot of artists who just constantly raising up other people and encouraging them and trying to help them achieve their
Right.
goals and shit. So yeah, man, much respect to you.
yeah, I mean, if I can, why not, right? I always say, like, not like I'm at the level where you have to take my advice, because I haven't made it to the level people think of like a megastar or anything. Obviously, I'm not at that level, but at the end of the day, we all go through the same struggles. Like, every artist goes through the same kind of phases. So if one of us overcomes a phase earlier than the other, might as well just give the advice.
Yeah, facts.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was saying it earlier today. It's not competition. It's collaboration. It's just knowledge is power. And there's enough, because now, before it was, if you go into Walmart and you go pick out an album, as a kid, I could buy one. Of course, it's going to be, Eminem. Like, that's how it was. But,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Same
Like,
here.
you pick one album, and
Yeah.
the next time you get a chance to go, you pick an album. I mean, some people had it like that. I didn't.
Yeah.
And so, but it's different now because everyone has access to more things, right? And so that you can click on multiple people, subscribe, listen to the Spotify, listen to their songs without having to change the CD in your CD changer. So you tend to go for rotate through the 3 CDs you like most, right? So there's enough success out there for everybody.
Definitely, yeah.
I can like you and another person, and it's not going to take away from you or them. It just is what it
Right.
is.
Yeah, for sure. It's going back to what we said earlier, it's like it has its pros and cons in the sense that people just have so many options that you now need to work much, much harder to stand out, because everyone raps. Like, there's probably 15 people that rap, like, across the street. Like, everyone makes music, everyone wants to be an artist, which is great, right? If they really have the passion and the drive. But that also means that the content that comes out is just insane. Like, you really, really have to work hard to, again, catch someone's attention. But the pro, as you said, is like, it shouldn't be viewed as competition, because at the end of the day, if you have the means to succeed, you have social media, which is really all you need nowadays. So there's no competition. If you're talented and you have the motivation and the perseverance, and you just keep going, like, you'll make it, regardless if your friend made it or not. It doesn't matter. If you're meant to make it, you'll make it. That's pretty much the point.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a double, right? Because there's no competition, because everybody has an opportunity for success, the same that you have. However, there's also no competition because you're fire, right? So
yeah
to both ways. But look, bars. See, guys, I can rap too. Just kidding.
There you go. There you go.
There you go,
Skullz
Kat.
is like, really, Kat.
Bro, I'm trying to get you on a track. What are you talking about?
I thought you wanted to be successful. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to get you, and I'm trying to get Nick the actor on a track.
Oh God, he already said he's there for it. He'll do
Oh, yeah,
some
just
dramatic
like-
reading on the track.
Yo, he doesn't even have to rap. He could just say like "yeehaw," and I'll get like a kind of a cowboy style beat. We'll make it work.
That's funny. No, I was gonna ask you, because do you usually pick your locations based on where you live? I don't total like left turn here. When you do videos, do you usually pick your locations based on where you are, or do you like fly out to locations?
Oh, usually where I am, but it's gonna change now because the label deal guaranteed more budget and opportunities to, as you say, fly out and go to different places, which will be sick. But most of the videos, if not all of them, were in Calgary, which can become an issue after 20, 30 videos because there's only a certain amount of locations you can use. But for the next videos, there's definitely going to be shots in Vancouver, Toronto, so different cities across Canada. And then because I have some pretty big collaborations with pretty big rappers in Italy, we're planning on going there in the summer, maybe shooting a few videos with them in Italy, which will be sick. We'll definitely add a different vibe to the video, something more unique. But yeah, we're definitely looking to expand that.
Well, first off, congrats on the deal that you made. I mean, I knew that you got signed. I was going to segue at some point, but I just thought that was awesome. I mean, because they sound like it's working out really great for you, so that's great. People underestimate the international audience. I'm just put it that way. Let me say it again for those in the back. Y'all underestimate, not you specifically, anybody in the chat. People underestimate an international audience because someone, okay, look at David Hasselhoff. He was huge in Germany. Huge. Yeah. But, and it doesn't even have to be because, let's just say, in Indonesia, they might really, really love your music, right? It doesn't have to be because you are literally speaking Indonesian or I knew what the language was called because I used to talk to a bunch of them, but I forgot. It starts with a B. Yeah. But anyway, people underestimate the power you can have overseas, like of people that just really resonate with your stuff. And some people bypass them, which I think is stupid. It was just an ignorant thing to do.
It is, yeah. I mean, they're people, right? No matter what country they're in, they're people listening to your music, buying your art, and supporting. So it doesn't really matter where they are to me, especially nowadays where like anyone can put out a song on Spotify and you have the analytics right away of like what countries are listening to you the most. Like it's pretty easy to understand like where you should target and what to focus on. Like the Philippines has a huge hip hop scene. Like it's just insane.
Which does.
There's a lot of countries that people don't think about that are really, really into hip hop, like really into hip hop. So yeah, if you tap into any of those markets, it doesn't matter. I agree. It doesn't matter where they're from. They're still fans.
And see, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know how you could be anything other than grateful that people like enjoy your stuff no matter where they're from. I would just be like, bro, like that's awesome. I'm so happy you enjoy it,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there are some Indonesian rappers, like I was saying, like there are some that they go crazy when people hear their like an Indonesian rapper in the United States. It's a huge thing, or anyone, honestly, any English-speaking country. They go crazy and they come flocking because they think it's so cool that their people are being seen, right?
Yeah.
But it's the other way around. People tour, and I think people forget this sometimes. Oh, if I don't make it in the USA and I'm not touring around the USA, I didn't make it. That's not how that works. Or not USA. We're from the USA, but like, anywhere. Europe or Asia or anywhere. Like people just underestimate it, I believe, because I've had conversations with people who just absolutely love certain artists, and they show up, they stay up till 4 a.m. to catch them live. They do all kinds of stuff because they just rock with them, and they don't have as much of that type of music where they're from, and so they look other places for it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and they appreciate it more. Yeah, they seem to appreciate it more because it's not like a dime a dozen in certain areas. Other problem with oversaturation, in my opinion, of the market is you get more trash music put out there that buries the good stuff.
Right.
People are just like, hey, I can, therefore I should, and that's not how it works. It's not really.
Yeah.
People need to know when they're out of their lane.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a problem for artists that get easily discouraged because I completely agree with what you're saying, but I also think that every artist, including me at some point, can easily use that as an excuse. Like, that's why my song is not doing well is because there's a bunch of trash rappers that are releasing music and it's hard for people to find my music, which to some degree is true. But again, I think the best way to look at it is always like, if you're on all the platforms you should be on and you're doing everything you should do, then it's up to you to stand out from the trash rappers and really make people notice you, right? Because you have the tools. And it'll take time. I'm not saying that, oh, you focus and like overnight you're good now. Millions of people saw you. Unfortunately, not how it works. But definitely, we can't do much of like can't do much about the oversaturation and how much shitty music is constantly being released. We kind of just have to focus on what to control and what we can do to stand out from that shitty music, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I as a listener, I like when I catch something that I like, I stick with it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to. I'm not a scroller like an Instagram. I never scroll through stuff. If you pop up in the top, like at the top of my feed, the first 3 posts, I'll see.
Yeah.
If you don't, oh well, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Because it just is what it is. But
yeah,
when I love when something stays at the top of my feed that I'm like, okay, I didn't click on it. I didn't want to see it. Why is it still here? And you refresh and it's still there.
Yeah.
You're like, stop. Oh my God. Because there is a lot of, like I said, I can, therefore I will post stuff. And some people, I'm not saying not saying they're bad. Some things just need more work. You shouldn't just post because you can. You need to put the quality and the effort and the time and make it good. Not just throw everything. Oh, I wrote a verse in the bathroom this morning. I recorded it in the shower, and now I'm going to post it online. And why aren't I going viral? Well, because it's shower trash. Like, I don't know what to say. And I'm not downing on people that really this is what they love to do. However, like I said.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's just very easy to release music. It's very, very easy. So, the easier it is, the more trash music we'll get. But, it is what it is. I don't think it sucks, but I just don't think as an artist you can do much about it. You kind of have to try to overcome that.
It's almost like the persistence is more important, because what it does is it just lifts you in pretty much every algorithm out there on any social media. And then eventually people will just be like, oh, okay, this guy's around,
Yeah.
And then your name just gets out there.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
That's inspiring to me. I'm gonna go back to TikTok.
You definitely should. I was the guy that people were telling this to, and I was like, nah, man, I don't know. Yeah, I'll do it next week, whatever. I've been through it, and not like now I'm having like insane results on TikTok. I'm not TikTok famous by any means, but it is definitely a platform that will help you reach new fans. And not only that, it will force you to post, because in order to take advantage of the TikTok algorithm, you need to post daily, at least a few times a day. It'll force you to make content. It'll force you to find inspiration in other stuff, push you out of your comfort zone, stuff like that, because you constantly need to be on it. So yeah, I think you should. It's pretty useful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get on it. Yeah, I got some of my music videos saved on my phone. I'm just gonna chop up a bunch of clips and
there you go.
Put them in there, and then just
make sure they're vertical format, and you'll be good to go.
That I gotta figure out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was just curious, and I'm sure this is going to be one of the most common questions you ever get, but what happened that made you, I'm not saying something happened, but like what started you on this whole path? Like what made you go, you know what, this is what I wanted? Did you just have love for it? Or did somebody say, hey, you're pretty badass, you just happened to do it one day? Like who got you started down this path?
So I liked rap from an early age, like as everyone pretty much my age. Fell in love with Eminem. Like that was the first kind of thing my dad played for me in the car, whatever. But it wasn't like I wasn't infatuated with it until I was struggling with my own mental health stuff. I had like severe OCD for I don't even know 7-8 years of my life. Like extremely severe. I talk about it in my songs, and I'm pretty open about it now because I don't have any issue talking about it. But that's what made me have to write. I was like, man, like, what can I do to distract myself and put my thoughts and, really gather my thoughts instead of always being all over the place? I was like, oh, I'll just try writing. So I started writing. It was obviously trash in the beginning, but I liked it. Like I was doing it in high school for fun with my friends. And and yeah, it just started, and again, the more I got into writing, the more I became fascinated by the bars, the wordplay, the rhyme schemes. I started understanding like, oh wow, they're rhyming multiple syllables and all that cool stuff. And so it just kept going from there. And then one day, I posted a freestyle in my car, and it got 4 million views on Facebook out of nowhere. And I was like, oh wow, that was my kind of confirmation that I was kind of good at it, because I was like, oh wow, if people are sharing it and commenting, maybe I'm not that bad. And so that pushed me to really keep going, and that's how the career, if you want to call it that, started.
Well, I'll be honest, one of the things I love most is when I do run into or stumble into whatever, and something makes you go, ooh, right? I love that. And of course, that's the instant gratification where, you catch somebody's attention. It's harder to choose to go through multiple songs that are 3-4 minutes long and listen to the whole thing and say, well, maybe, I'm the person that starts listening, thinks, skip. Like I skip through the song a little bit and then I'm like, nah, and I move on. But that's only because I have limited time. However, you go down those rabbit holes where you find a good artist. And I mean, at least me personally, I tend to try to find more, right? So like you see for example, a good reel on Instagram, right? Or you see a post and you're like, oh, that was really cool. You might send it to somebody, you might just watch it, but then you're like, okay, well, if that's what's showing up today, cool. Let's see if something else shows up, just because it gets you in that mood. But, to have a catalyst like that where you go, like, get that many views, I mean, to kind of validate where you're coming from, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was big at the time, because I wasn't, I wasn't convinced that I was, I wasn't set on that being like a career choice by any means. I wasn't sure that that's what I was going to do. But then when you start getting good results, you obviously need something at some point that confirms and encourages you to do it more, like a friend that really believes in you, or a video that goes viral, or whatever, something that, a big sign that is like, oh yeah, I can actually really do this. And then you just go from there.
Honestly,
yeah, that is true. That's really true. Like I probably would have stopped rapping if I didn't have a few people actually believe in me. Tell me that I was decent and tell me that I could, that it's worth pursuing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
super important.
In that regard.
Thanks, Kat. Thanks, Kat, in that regard.
I love you, Skullz. In that regard, I'm literally going to do what I like to do, and that's shout out this community, the Elsewhere community. Built specifically, the entire community started before the podcast, so it was built on, supporting people and sharing stuff that we find, and hey, this person's going live. Oh, hey, this song dropped, and like having an avenue for everyone to post, so it's not like only genre specific or only artist or reactor specific. And so that people had like a hub they could put everything in that they wanted to.
Nice.
Promote whoever they wanted. And then if something cool was happening, hey guys, come check this out. I'm in here and it's going really cool. And then people are like, oh, cool. And they'll kind of show up. For example, we really, really are behind Skullz. He's, obviously really close to us. And we push his music and show up in the reactions, whenever we get a chance, and have a ping for it and everything. And that's the whole point, is like supporting people. And making sure that people that we rock with, that we like, that we're catching their stuff, and we're, it's a one click, right? It might be 125 views, whatever, but it's one click from me, and it's one click from the other people that are checking it out too because of my recommendation, and which we be few, but we be mighty, right? Because we just really rock with the people that we do, and that's why I try really hard to, bring people on. Especially I love when people don't know who some of these people are that I bring on here, because that's a new person. And getting to know someone as a person, I think, especially nowadays, matters more than just, oh, your music's cool. Getting to know someone as a human being, as a person with their own opinions and their own story, that the instant gratification, that 30 seconds you get to introduce yourself, doesn't give anyone. It's kind of cool to be able to get to know the person behind their music and behind the thought processes and just their attitude, or how they approach things.
No, absolutely. And having that loyal fan base, big or small, is really the best thing for an artist to have, is like that those people that really, really support you, and you start knowing even some of your fans. Like I know a bunch of my fans that like they'll comment on every post. So after a while, you're like, oh, this guy is really, really about it, and he shows up to every interview or whatever, you know. So it's the best thing when people support you that much, and obviously to the extent I can with other people that I mess with, I try to do the same. So it's dope.
Well, again, I'm going to say Champagne, I appreciate that. She said I found most of my playlist through Kat. I actually have a playlist on my channel that is songs to listen to, and it's supposed to be backwards so that you get the newest stuff first, but apparently it's like YouTube, so I don't want to go through and reorder it. But when I find new stuff, I put it on there. When it's a new, especially smaller, more independent, I tend to go with those.
Nice.
I purposefully look for them. You know, I know people that they do independent artist playlists, top 10s and stuff. They have honorable mentions. I go through all those every single week, pull stuff that I like and put it on there. I push it to reaction channels. And I know not many people are aware, but it is what it is. I put that out there just to try and like shout out, hey, this was, I think a couple of years are on there. Like, you know, just to kind of tell people, you know, go check this out. If you're bored and looking for something, here's something I resonate with, only because I talk to a lot of people, and I think people know I really like, you know, unique, smaller, like non-mainstream, you know, more lyrical, just good content, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I might mess with a lot of people, but I really, really, really rock with, you know, the people that I bring on, especially. Like, I check out everything that you post. I try to. And unfortunately, it's like a full-time damn job. Networking is a full-time job. I don't care what anybody says. It just is. Keeping in touch with people, having conversations, trying to get people on, trying to, you know, let people know about someone that's coming on, like your music and stuff, prior to you being here in case they didn't know you. But it's all part of it, right? Because support is generally with no strings attached and all encompassing. So if you support someone, you support who they are, what they're doing. It's kind of that's not half-assed. It's either all or nothing, in my opinion.
Right.
And so it's just really cool to. Oh, I got distracted by a comment. Do you hear that? That was just what my brain just went. Versus any artist in France, Spain, or Latin America you want to work with besides Italy? Good question.
Any artists in France, Spain, Latin America? So fun story. I actually this is kind of an exclusive, and it was supposed to be huge, but I don't know if it's going to end up happening. But through a mutual friend, I got in contact with Pitbull.
Oh, nice.
Who I guess, you know, originally is Latin America. So that would be super cool. Just because of, you know, he also kind of is known for mixing a little Spanish here and there. So that would be amazing. It's a tough question because most of the, like, I'm very much more in tune with the scene in Italy than Spain or France. So in France, I'm like absolutely in love with this R&B artist, but she's super, super mainstream. Her name is Aya Nakamura. She has like insane hits, but I rarely listen to a lot of music outside of hip hop, but I've been listening to her whole discography recently. So if I could have like a dream collab, that would be it. Outside of Italy, it would definitely be her. But yeah, she's pretty much a mega star and very, very hard to reach.
That's actually
And what's her name again?
Yeah.
Her name is Aya Nakamura, so Aya, and then Nakamura, Nakamura.
It's finishing it in Google, thank God.
Yeah, I mean she has it's French R&B, but with a little Afro beats in it. Is just super cool. And she does not miss a single hook. Like, it's just, everything is just so catchy. She's very mainstream, but it's very, very catchy. God
damn, 326 million views. Damn, yeah.
I think she has a video with 898 million.
Bruh.
Yeah.
There's that many people in the world with internet. I'm just saying, like,
extremely, extremely tough. But if I had a dream feature, that's what it would be.
well, Champagne's heard of her.
I'm definitely gonna have to check her out.
Yeah.
Let me put it on a queue.
And see, that's how it happens. Is somebody just says, "Hey, this person's cool," or this person, and then people go and they look it up. Like, "Hey, that's interesting." If
Yeah.
they think they're cool, then maybe I will. And it might not be your thing, but that's how that's how word gets around. She obviously, no offense, doesn't need it, but like that's how that happens. It's word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's name recognition. I'm never going to necessarily remember how to spell her name, but if I hear it again, I'm gonna be like, "Wait a minute, I know who that is. Like I've heard of her."
Yeah.
Whether I've
Right,
heard
right.
her music or
Yeah,
not.
it all starts somewhere, yeah. For sure.
No, absolutely. And that's the cool part about it is like that's why I think that it was fascinating for you to switch up languages. I know that you're like, "Hey, I really wanted to kind of go this lane, but people were really pushing me to do something different." And I decided to go for it. And it is really unique. And I did focus on it in the beginning because it's something that I could never imagine myself doing. Like, I don't know, of course, I know a tiny bit of French. Like, I'm talking like 7th grade. I did whatever I had to do to pass type French,
Yeah.
I know a hamburger, like les poissons, let's go.
Right. Right.
Je m'appelle, like that's it.
There you go.
But
Chocolate.
That's all you need to know.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's something that I think is really cool because I couldn't imagine doing it myself. But I appreciate talent, and there are artists out there that I don't like their music, but I still appreciate their talent. Even if it's not the right sound. Like, I'm not all into the vibey music. I really like angry stuff. I like mean, like aggressive stuff for some reason.
Right.
So those stuff's like,
Some repressed rage there.
we're all happy. I'm like, I don't care. But I appreciate their talent. Like, and I love to see, I love people that have their own, and I've said this a million times, people that have their own songs. Okay, so I love a good collab. I love a good feature.
Yeah.
But I love when people, like, I want to, okay, cool. Let's just say I heard of you on a feature at some point, and I'm like, who's this? And I go check you out, and then everything you do is a feature. I'm like, I want to hear your music, which is when
for sure.
the first thing I heard wasn't a feature for you, but still, like, I have that problem all the time. And it's really cool to see that there are cool features, but they're tasteful and they're sporadic and they're a little bit more spaced out. They're not everything's a feature everywhere always.
Yeah, I had to find that balance too. I have a lot of features, and in the beginning, it's obviously an easy way for artists to expand their fan base. You collaborate with people because their fans will then become your fans, or that's what you hope for at least. But I've been definitely more careful in the past. As you said, space it out. I usually don't drop 2 features in a row. I never do. It'll be like 2 singles, and then a feature, 1 single, then a feature. Because I agree. I think it's important to show yourself on the track by yourself, and that you don't always need someone to be there. Because features from an artist's point of view are also a bit easier because you're writing pretty much half the song. So it's you could get it done quickly, and it's more tempting. Whereas when you're working on a full song, from the production to the hook, 3 verses, whatever it is, it obviously requires more time. But yeah, I'm being more careful with that. So actually, last song that dropped was a feature, and the next one that is dropping next Friday, July 8th, is a single, and we'll see. Just me. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, collabs are also a mutually beneficial marketing thing too.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
I mean, you kind of get to swap each other's.
If people both,
viewership.
we had this discussion like a couple days ago. If both people drop it, right? If both people push it, like if you're with somebody who just is like, cool, I'm on the feature, and then cool, and they just walk away, and you're like, are you not going to put it on your channel too? Like, no.
That happened to me quite a bit.
Yeah, we had a big discussion about that when Clip Monster was on. We were like, that was a huge thing that we were talking about. But that's the thing, like, don't get me wrong. I like features. I like ciphers. I like all that. That's how I discover new people. I listen to someone that I would listen to, and then I hear someone you hadn't heard of or never thought to listen to. So it's not that as much as it is. I like a song that is that artist. I don't want to have to try and find it somewhere. And I like it to when you say, hey, I want you to hear this artist. I generally don't want to be like, hey, here's a cool artist. Ignore the second verse. But I do know that features and the thing is, sometimes people get sloppy. Not everybody, but there are people that are sloppy that, they just want to bank off of everybody else's fan base and stuff. And I know
Right.
that you could do it as a marketing thing or collaboration. That's different if you guys are on the same page. But when
Yeah.
it's just like, well, I can't do what I feel like, see, and this is an opinion thing. I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, I can't do good enough on my own, so I got to make sure I have everybody on it, and so I can do
Yeah.
better. And you can tell the difference when someone collaborates with someone and they both kind of
For sure.
they kind of kill it, both of them do, and it's like a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Then people that tend to, and it's not knocking features. I think they're great. I just really like to have
No, I agree.
songs.
But there's things you can implement and do to kind of avoid the common issues that happen with features, such as the other artist not promoting it. Maybe you're working with someone bigger, they just want money, they get the money, give you the verse, and then they disappear. That happens a lot. But for example, now a cool thing that, or at least it's helping me, is that I don't do features anymore unless the other artist is a primary artist, which means the song drops on all his platforms as well, with him being not a feature but like a main artist, so it's both of us on the track rather than me featuring him or her. That from there you can instantly tell if they really want to be a part of the song and promote it, or if they were just doing it for other reasons. Because if they are primary and they agree to that, it forces them and their team to really push the song, because it's not like the song drops on their platform and they just act like it didn't happen. That would look bad with their fan bases. So that's an approach I took. I'm not doing features anymore unless everyone's primary on the track. Gone was, for example, on the last one. So yeah, I think that works pretty well.
That's smart. Oh, and Jared just said it too. That's smart. It's definitely smart. And I think listeners kind of catch that sometimes too. They can tell when you're working with people that are at the level that you're at, if that makes sense. Or, that you're both like doing well with it. If that, I don't know how to articulate that correctly.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But no, it's pretty awesome. I mean, like I said, I love to hear people's music. I love to hear people as an artist on their own. I do like to hear features. I think it's really cool when two people that I really appreciate or, rock with end up, collaborating, or they end up doing a feature or, a song together. I think that's great. I just really like when people kind of do their own stuff and they completely shine and they show from start to finish. Like, I'm shining, and have their own thing going on, and they come together for other stuff. I think that's awesome too.
I was really excited when I saw that you were collaborating with Gone. I was like, oh shit, that's dope.
Yeah.
So it's always exciting.
Yeah, Gone's a good friend. I that was my third song with Gone. I have another one where it's just me and him, and then I have another one where it's me, him, and Clementino, who's like a top 5 rapper in Italy. I
heard that one.
And, sorry?
I heard that one.
Yeah, that one's called All Right Now. But yeah, I mean, since the last song we did, he grew like career-wise and fan base-wise a lot. He's completely at another level right now. He had recently passed 1 million monthly listeners and stuff like that. Just got to another level. But I did this song and I could picture him on it, so I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna try. Hopefully he's not like too big to not do it, right? So I still reached out just in case, sent him the song. He was in love with it. I think he sent me the verse like 2 days later. So definitely big shout out to Gone. He's one of the real ones.
Yeah, who was it? Jackson Pierce Cat, who said he worked with him too, and he was like, he had nothing but good things to say about him.
Oh, amazing guy. Like, and every time, going back to those artists that will do something and then disappear, like Gone, I have an hour long conversations on the phone with Gone or FaceTime, literally giving each other advice, strategies, what to do, like how to promote the song when it drops. He's not one of those guys that will just do it and disappear. So definitely good guy to work with for sure.
Well, see, I run into that all the
time.
Good
to hear that, especially like at your level and at Gone's level. It's it's just nice to see the camaraderie still there,
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. You see too many artists lose themselves like that, and It's good to
Yeah.
see that that's still intact with everyone.
Yeah, and you know, it's sad for those other artists. I don't want to like justify how artists treat other artists in a shitty way, but I definitely do understand how sometimes like you get to a point where you start changing a bit, or it gets to your head just a little. Like, I don't completely disrespect them for doing that. I've even witnessed it with like artists that were close to me and then now are less close to me, but it's like you never know how much of it is like, are they really that busy, or you know, there's just a lot going on with someone's life when they get to a bigger level of success that is hard always to evaluate exactly what's wrong, right? But yeah.
Yeah, and plus part of it is, I mean, it's just kind of part of the game sometimes. I mean, you're
Right.
I mean, there's songs where you're just literally hyping yourself up and talking
Yeah.
about like, yeah, like, you know, because you're in that mode, you're in that headspace.
Exactly.
And like sometimes that can get out of control. You gotta keep an eye on yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure. For sure. And that's when you need like a good circle, good people around you. That always helps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You need people to check you, not to just
Yeah,
yes
for
men.
sure. For sure. I'm far from that level, but I mean, you know, I can see how when you know, if and when I do get there, or I've seen people that were close to me get there, you kind of start understanding what goes through their head and why they're acting. You know, there's more than just like, oh, he's a shitty person now, he changed, right? There's always a little more to that, but yeah, it's definitely good to stay grounded and have people around you that remind you kind of where you came from, you know?
Yeah, slap you in the back of the head if you're getting out of
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
Well, see, I run into that a lot where, like, sometimes the worst they can say is no, really. Because, I mean, honestly, I reach out to people all the time. Sometimes they throw Hail Marys to, like, some seriously, like, if I name the names, then people would be like, dude, they're not going to answer. And I know. And there's a lot of people that I'm like, oh, dude, there's no way they're going to answer. You're one of them. I was like, there's no way he's going to respond. But then people do, and it just kind of restores your faith in people to like give their time of day and give their their time at all
Yeah.
to a channel that just really wants to get to know them. Like, it matters. It really matters. That's why I try when I reach out to people to just be honest and be like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. It'd be really cool if you get a moment, if you could check it out, see if you want to be on, that'd be great. And I actually get more positive responses, well, except for the Hail Marys. I don't get any response from them. Almost everybody that responds to me, has said yes or has been interested, or at least, given me the time of day, which I appreciate, because,
Right.
At my level, which is, we're like 415 compared to what some other people are at,
Right.
it just is what it is, and you just have to try. Like, you can't like shy away from it, because people, like I said, people are people at the core of themselves. And if people are just going to blow you off because, oh, maybe they didn't see it, or maybe they didn't have time, or maybe it's like, dude, I just can't. You know what I mean? They might get 85 requests a day, and that's fine. But then when you get somebody that does respond and is like, hey, that sounds cool, let's do this, it means everything, right?
Right.
Even if it's somebody on your same level, because you never know how they're going to respond. The worst I can say is no, really. And then if they're being a douche about it, that's different. But if they're just like, no, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work out, or they just, leave you unread, that's cool.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I get it. For sure.
That's going to be the most heartbreaking, being left unread. It's like,
not unread. Like, they didn't even see it. That's cool.
Oh.
Unread.
No, that's fine. If you're left unread, that's heartbreaking. My heart couldn't take it.
Well, I don't scroll back and look, honestly. I just figure if they ever see it, they'll respond. And if I ever remember to try again, I'll try again. But, so I don't ever notice if they've left me on read. So at least I haven't had my heart broken too many times.
I'm sure you'll make the rounds. You'll eventually like go back to them and you'll be like, oh, I already asked them.
It'll be like 2 in the morning. Hey, I'm going to do Hail Marys with the top like 6 artists in the independent rap game. Let's go. And realize.
You never know. Like sometimes, like I'm the same with features. Like, when I have a song, I'm like, man, I can really hear this guy on it. And he's like a fucking huge artist. And I just do it. I'm like, man, like it's one DM, right? It's not gonna affect anything. Like worst case, I'll look back at it and just laugh at the fact that I asked them. But the one time they do reply, it'll change everything. So, and that happened to me a few times. Like that's how I started my conversation with Tech9. I never thought Tech9 would ever reply to me, but yeah, so it can happen for sure.
No, exactly. That's why it's like it's worth it to shoot your shot, even if you just never know, and you can always grow from it, right? No matter what.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're building yourself as a person, you're building yourself with your confidence and what you're sending out. You might word it a different way because maybe that didn't go over well. There's all different ways to take it, and as long as you take it in a positive way and not like take offense to things. I mean, like I said, unless they're being a complete douche, and then whatever.
Yeah.
But aside from that,
For
there's
sure.
no way to take it but good.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
But honestly, I mean, I absolutely appreciate you responding because
Oh, no problem.
here you is.
No problem. No, I love having these conversations. Honestly, it's always nice. There's always something to learn. And it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's my pleasure for sure.
Well,
I appreciate that approach, man. For real. Like, I feel like a lot of people, like, just a lot of people in general. Maybe I don't know if it's our culture in the U.S. or what, but a lot of people just come into things thinking they already know it all. So just the fact that you're willing to come into a situation being like, oh, like let me try and understand everyone else rather than, oh, everyone should understand me. It's a really refreshing approach to it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice to talk with similar-minded people and everything, so it's cool.
It's what we do here on Elsewhere.
Now it's definitely all about the conversation, getting to know people, having normal conversations with not so normal people. I'm attempting to be a little bit more structured because I tend to like fly by the seat of my pants. By the way, I'm doing that tonight too. So it's not like, I don't write everything down ahead of time. Like I've got to have an exact question and you have 5 minutes to answer. It's not like a Jeopardy round. But it's just good to see where things go and what people want to talk about and just get some, insight into different perspectives. I mean, everything you can learn from anybody matters, whether it be in the same lane or the same mind space or the same, like if they're in a different genre, it doesn't matter. If they're a podcaster or if they're a rap artist or if, they're an author, it doesn't matter. You can still learn something interesting or hear a different way that people do things, and you can actually apply it across the board. I'm downloading TikTok, goddammit. Not yet, but I'm like, oh, no. I mean, there's a couple really cool videos that my graphics guy puts together. If you haven't noticed, Wolf, he was in here earlier. He puts together some amazing graphics and amazing promo videos. He does all my stuff for me. So, I mean, I think they would do pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, but no, I really appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you taking the time with us and hanging out and answering questions and, just chilling.
My pleasure for sure. Yeah, I'm if down along the road I drop something crazy or after a few songs, few music videos, there's a lot more to talk about and you guys want to talk again, don't hesitate to message me. I'll be back in no hesitation. It's always a pleasure.
No, I truly appreciate that. Thanks for saying that. And you're actually, you have a show coming up, right?
Yeah, so 2 big shows actually. I'm opening for Action Bronson at Stampede on July 9th. Stampede is like huge event in Calgary. People from all over the world come here. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's a pretty big deal here. And then July 17th, which is the last day of Stampede, I'm performing again. That time opening for Polo G and Flo Rida. So that's going to be a big night, and
wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool. I'm excited, nervous, excited, kind of all the same, but we'll see.
Yeah, 2 sides of the same coin. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, and definitely if anybody's in the area, go check it out, and if not, then we'll be keeping an eye out to see if we can catch any clips from it. So.
Yeah, I definitely told my guy to get as much footage as he can, and it's going to make for a sick short film or documentary style video that I'll post on Instagram. So definitely stay tuned for that. We'll try to get as much content as possible out of it.
Oh, look, Jen knows what it is. See, there she is. And Rain, his next track drop is the 8th, I believe.
Yeah, correct. Next Friday.
Nailed it. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Dope. Well, man, it was great talking to you. Thank you so
Perfect.
much
Yeah.
again for coming on.
Yeah. No, thank you guys. Yeah. Again, I'm sure we'll talk again in the future. I'll stay tuned to check your guys' stuff, and hopefully you do the same. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Yeah, and everybody make sure you check the description. His link is there. If you haven't checked him out, what the hell are you waiting for? Absolutely an amazing artist. Can't be more grateful that he's here with us tonight, just hanging out. So, yay.
Perfect.
Appreciate
Thank you all so much. Have a good night.
All right, you
Everyone have a good night, and we'll see y'all elsewhere.
Yes.
All right, night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good night.